Have you ever asked yourself why your legs feel weaker even if you keep exercising and trying to do everything the right way? Why do stairs appear steeper with each passing year? Why does it take longer than before to get up from a chair? Is this just age, or is there something else quietly working against you? The surprising truth is that sometimes the problem isn't what you fail to do. It's something you do regularly without realizing the hidden risk. For most of their lives, people have been told that fruits are always natural, healthy, and beneficial. That's why many older adults make a silent mistake every day, believing with full confidence that they are making the best choice. And yes, most really do. Here is the reality that is rarely discussed. Not every fruit is good for seniors. In fact, some fruits that many of us eat every single week without hesitation can gradually weaken the legs, worsen inflammation in the joints, trigger knee pain, and make walking more difficult. Fruits often promoted as healthy can actually harm strength, balance, and mobility in later years. As we age, our metabolism slows down, circulation declines, and the foods that once nourished us can begin to work against us. This is especially true with certain fruits. Despite their sweet taste and innocent look, they contain acids, sugars, and compounds that can lower blood sugar stability, intensify joint issues, and weaken muscles in the legs. The worst part is that this damage happens quietly, little by little, until one day you feel sudden calf pain, chronic aches in the thighs, or a tight, uncomfortable pressure in the knees after only a short walk. Today, I will share the 7 main fruits that adults over 60 should be cautious with, especially if you want to protect your legs from chronic pain, weakness, and deterioration. None of them are truly harmless, even if they appear so. Once you understand this, you will never look at a plate of fruit in the same way. If you value your strength and want to keep your legs strong, steady, and pain-free, stay with me until the end. This might be exactly the wake-up call your body has been waiting for. Before we continue, if you care about your health, subscribe and turn on notifications. Here we share information others rarely mention. If you're watching right now, let me know in the comments. Pineapple. Although it has long been considered good for reducing inflammation, for older adults it may do the opposite. Pineapple, tropical, sweet, and juicy, has for many years been praised as a natural anti-inflammatory thanks to an enzyme called bromelain. But here's the catch. Despite its reputation, pineapple can actually be a hidden risk for seniors. It contains natural sugars and strong acids. As we age, our blood vessels become more fragile and sensitive. They don't respond the same way to sugar spikes as they once did. Eating pineapple can cause a rapid rise in blood sugar, and those sharp increases injure the small blood vessels that supply the legs, feet, and muscles. Over time, this reduces circulation and limits oxygen delivery, which leads to swelling, fatigue, and discomfort. You may recognize the signs: that dull, lingering pain in your legs after a short walk, stiffness in the knees when standing, or aching ankles after a long day of sitting. And there's more. The natural acidity of pineapple can worsen arthritis or joint inflammation, fueling pain in the knees, hips, and ankles. Some people even describe their legs feeling heavy and drained after eating it. There's also a risk of interactions. Bromelain can interfere with medications, especially blood thinners, sometimes making them stronger or weaker than intended. The danger is that pineapple doesn't cause immediate or dramatic symptoms. The effects are subtle and build up slowly until one day mobility feels harder than before. Most older adults never suspect that their gradual leg weakness could be linked to something as ordinary as fruit. While you don't have to avoid pineapple completely, limiting it is wise if you've been dealing with chronic pain, swelling, or unexplained fatigue in the legs. Banana. If pineapple, often praised for reducing inflammation, can still cause harm, imagine what happens with another common fruit known for potassium and muscle support, the banana. Bananas are soft, sweet, and rich in potassium. They are widely considered excellent for energy and for preventing cramps. Yet for seniors, the reality is different. Bananas are loaded with natural sugar and fast-digesting carbs, which cause blood sugar levels to rise quickly. This leads to insulin resistance, circulation problems, and inflammation. If you've ever felt heavy legs after meals, stiffness in the calves, or dull pain when climbing stairs, bananas may be part of the reason. They also encourage fluid retention, especially in those with heart concerns. The result? Swollen feet, stiff joints, and aching ankles, changes that creep in quietly. You eat bananas believing they strengthen your muscles, but over time they may do the opposite, gradually increasing pain and reducing mobility. These effects are not immediate, but grow more noticeable with the years. If you often have heavy, swollen, or sore legs, take another look at the fruits on your plate. Grapes. Now let's turn to something smaller and seemingly harmless. Grapes. Grapes appear innocent, small, juicy, easy to snack on, and often praised for antioxidants and heart benefits. But for seniors, they can trigger stiffness, swelling, and joint pain. The culprit is fructose, a sugar the liver processes into fat and uric acid. In excess, this leads to painful buildups in joints, especially toes, ankles, and knees, causing burning pain and swelling. Many notice it as nighttime toe pain, sudden calf stiffness, or unexpected joint discomfort. Even a simple handful of grapes can raise uric acid levels. Over time, fructose drives persistent inflammation, slowing movement, and making flexibility harder. Grapes are also easy to overeat. A couple of handfuls quickly become cups, piling on sugar without you noticing. For older adults, this can slowly reduce leg strength and comfort. Watermelon. Think about it. If you've been eating grapes often and feel more stiffness and swelling, they may be part of the hidden cause. Let's move on to another fruit, one thought of as refreshing and safe, watermelon. Watermelon is light, hydrating, and a symbol of summer. But despite being mostly water, it carries a hidden risk. Its glycemic index is very high, meaning it causes sugar spikes as quickly as candy. For older bodies, these spikes are especially damaging, straining circulation in the legs and fueling inflammation in knees, calves, and ankles. Climbing stairs starts to feel like climbing a mountain, and even short walks may bring fatigue and pain. The problem is that watermelon feels so light that it's easy to overeat. One slice becomes 2, then 3, and the sugar load rises sharply. The legs feel heavier, circulation weakens, and yet you think you're simply hydrating. Next, let's look at another popular fruit, the orange. Oranges are bright, refreshing, and packed with vitamin C. They've long been associated with immunity and health. But for seniors, their citrus acids can be a hidden problem. Citric acid doesn't just affect the stomach. It enters the bloodstream and irritates joint tissues. If you already experience arthritis, stiffness, or swelling, oranges can make these worse. You might notice chronic hip pain, swelling in the legs after sitting, or stiff knees in the morning. The combination of natural sugar and acid raises inflammation throughout the body. For younger people, this may not matter, but in older adults, oranges can subtly worsen mobility and joint comfort. Now consider green apples. They look crisp and clean with less sugar than red apples, which makes many people think they're the safest choice. But green apples also hide risks. Their sour taste comes from malic acid, which can irritate digestion and joints in older adults. Sensitive intestines, aching hips, stiffness in knees, or warmth in the feet after eating them are common complaints. On top of that, even though they taste less sweet, green apples still contain sugars that affect blood sugar control in aging bodies. Night cramps, morning stiffness, and calf fatigue can all be linked to them. Often eaten raw or as juice, especially before bed, they can quietly disturb sleep and mobility. Finally, let's talk about mango. Sweet, juicy, and almost candy-like. For older adults with weak joints or leg pain, mango can be the most dangerous fruit of all. Packed with sugar, it causes steep and sudden spikes in blood sugar, which aging metabolisms handle poorly. Each spike fuels inflammation in joints and soft tissues, especially around knees and ankles. Burning toes, tingling, swelling, and leg heaviness are often reported. Because mango tastes light and refreshing, it's easy to eat too much, which worsens the problem. Over time, this can mean unstable legs, slower walking, and worsening pain. Now you've seen the full picture. 7 fruits praised for their benefits can actually pose risks for adults over 60. But here's the good news. Some fruits have the opposite effect. They fight inflammation, support joint health, and promote strength. Berries, such as blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, are low in sugar, rich in antioxidants, and excellent for circulation. They reduce swelling, fight stiffness, and keep the legs moving comfortably. Cherries, eaten in moderation, also help by lowering uric acid and reducing burning in the knees and fingers. Even a small handful can bring noticeable relief. Avocado, though often thought of as a vegetable, is actually a fruit, and one of the best for healthy joints. It's full of beneficial fats that cushion joints and lower inflammation, while also helping stabilize blood sugar. Papaya is another excellent choice. Gentle on digestion and rich in enzymes, it calms inflammation and supports aging joints. And don't forget pears. Lightly sweet and even better paired with protein or fiber, pears provide steady energy without straining the legs. Instead of wearing the body down, these fruits nourish, strengthen, and bring balance. They don't weigh you down. They support energy, stability, and comfort. It's not just about eating fruit, it's about choosing the right fruit for your age. When you start making deliberate choices, you'll notice mornings feel clearer, steps lighter, and movements easier. Let's finish with this message. If you've stayed with me this far, it shows you care about your health, your strength, and your future. You still have time to improve. You still have time to change. Aging can feel discouraging. The slow arrival of pain, stiffness, and the fear of falling may make it seem like your body is slipping away. But here's the truth. You don't need drastic measures. You need small, consistent changes. One decision, one meal, one fruit at a time. The goal is not to give up. The goal is to grow wiser. When you eat consciously, choosing foods that support circulation, strength, and comfort, you'll notice lighter steps, greater flexibility, and less pain. And now I want to hear from you. Share in the comments what you've learned today and what change you're ready to make. Let's encourage one another, because your story may inspire someone else. If this video has helped you, click the like button. To stay updated with more health information, subscribe and turn on notifications. Remember, your independence matters. Stay strong, stay aware, and take care of yourself. This is Dr. William Harris, reminding you that health isn't about perfection, it's about presence.